All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Let's see. Let me make sure the sound is working. All right. So yeah, guys. Let's see what we get here. Just pulling up this chart here. We have ARCI really running here. ARCI pushing up pretty big. Um, you have NBEV, which looks pretty good. I'll definitely be watching NBEV here. We also have SQ, VKTX. VKTX was up. It already filled the gap, basically. Yeah, for Snap, I mean, I know Snap had a pretty big red day the day before, but before that, it actually had 3 green days in a row. And so we'll see what happens. Honestly, I could see it go either way. I could see it have another red day. Like I said, it had 3 green days in a row prior to that. Let's look at the daily chart for Snap. But yesterday was a pretty big red day, and it does have some support right around that 15, 11, 20 area, right around where it's at now. And so that's a big level to watch. Really, this 11-10 level looks interesting. And so we'll see where that one goes. Get to watch that 11-10 level to see if that level holds with Snap. But like I said, NBEV looks good. ABBV looks alright. Gapping up some here. We'll have to look up the news in a minute. The SPY is pretty bullish in pre-market after a slight red day yesterday. Not a huge red day, but a slight red day yesterday. And so we'll see. Like I said, for fades, I really need the market to really just wash out at the open. If it starts to bounce, I just have to be careful. It all depends, though. One thing that it depends on is how closely the stock I'm watching follows the overall market. Like for instance, if the SPY is pushing up and the stock I'm looking at is dropping, then the stock I'm looking at may not follow the overall market super closely, and then it might be okay for shorting it. But for instance, if the SPY is pushing up and the stock I'm watching is pushing up, then it probably isn't the best. Also, I see here popping up on my scanners here, HEAR popping up on my scanners. Not really too much action there. We got MARA with another gap up. What's Bitcoin at today? Let's see. Bitcoin is at 5,463 this morning. And so it dropped as low as 5,040s or 5,420s. And then bounced right there. So XXII here, Dare popping up on my list, but not too much action there. SLS, RWLK popping up on my scanner. See, RWLK doesn't look bad. I can pull this one up here as well. You can see RWLK on this bottom chart here. Not a bad action movement here. Not a bad movement. We'll see what we get here with that one as well. What's everybody else watching? Also see if Mitch is going to be here today. I'm thinking about putting my microphone a little bit closer to me. Does this actually sound better? Is this easier? Is this clear? I'm thinking about holding my microphone a little bit closer to me so people can hear it better, because I've made a few videos and I notice my voice sounds much better, and it overall kind of projects a lot better when I speak a little bit closer to the mic. And so I may start doing that a little bit more, speaking close to the mic like this. And so let me know if this sounds better. All right. Yeah, so I'll probably end up doing that. Or I actually might end up just buying myself a new mic that I don't know if you guys have ever seen the mics that they kind of hang, and you can kind of move them and manipulate them different ways. Like, that's probably what I'll be doing. All right, for sure. All right, well, yeah, I'll keep the mic close to me here then. That should help out a little bit, help me project a little bit better. All right. All right, guys, so let's see what else we have here. I have the blue snowball, the snowball mic. Mine's a blue one, but yeah, it's just the snowball mic. It's not a bad mic. It's a pretty decent microphone for like $50-$60. I bought it about a year ago, maybe. But I know there was another one, a little bit more expensive one, that looked pretty good. Hey, appreciate it, Bill. Yeah, man. I know my mic works well because if I have like sirens in the background, people can really hear it, and so or if there's like bad weather in the background, people can really hear it. So I know the mic is pretty sensitive, but it gets the job done. But yeah, look at RWLK. I'll have to look up some news in a minute. My son is finally going back to school today, guys. I can get a day of rest, get a day of work in. I can actually work some today. And my son is actually going back to school. So I'm throwing a little mini celebration here. He's been home for the last 3 days. And I'm probably more excited than I should be about that. You know, I love my kids, but man, I'm ready for him to go back to school, you know. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my coffee, and I'll be right back. All right, all right. So what's everybody's main watch today? Like I said, my main watch is probably going to be NBEV. It's a cannabis stock that I've been keeping an eye on for the last few years and trading at a decent amount, and it's moving up nicely here, gapping up about almost exactly 50 cents. Yeah, exactly 50 cents from 551 to 601. That's probably going to be my main watch today. As always, I'll probably end up watching AMD. I'll probably keep an eye on ARCI, definitely. If you can look at the top chart here, it's definitely moving some from 470 up to 712s here. And so a pretty big move there. Facebook, if you like these higher cap stocks, it's also gapping up. I'm guessing it's earnings, some type of earnings, maybe a release. I'll have to look up the news for that. VKTX moved a little bit, dropped back down under the $0.50. I'll be watching that one as well. Also going to keep an eye on SQ, GNC, Roku, ABBV. What's the play on that? I don't necessarily have a specific play on it right now. I'll probably be looking at it for a short. For a VWAP fade short, but it all depends. You know, I don't necessarily, like when I build a watch list each morning, I'm a little bit different than everybody else probably. When I build a watch list each morning, I'm most of the time just looking at stocks that are actually moving. I'm not actually picking a direction on them quite yet. I'm really just looking at stocks that are moving. If they start to set up for my strategy, then I'll watch them a little bit more closely. But for now, I'm just really looking for volume and movement in pre-market. I just want to see volume. If the stock has decent volume and it's gapping up some, most of the time I'm looking at gap ups, then I'll watch it during market hours to see if it sets up. That's kind of how I do it. Like I said, I'm a little bit different. I don't try to, I've said it before, I don't necessarily try to predict what's going to happen. I like to just try to react to what I see happen. That way I don't get too much bias in there with things, and I can kind of just stick to the plan and not force anything that I don't necessarily need to, if that makes sense. QCOM, yeah, I'll be watching this one too. This one doesn't really move in a predictable way that I necessarily like it. So it's not really, I wouldn't say it's my favorite one for QKOM or QCOM. It just depends on if it sets up as well. It's kind of interesting. Yesterday I ended the day up $3, and so it was break even day. But if you look at the SPY, it was actually pretty choppy. You know, one of the ways you can tell if the SPY is choppy or not is you can just see how much it crosses over and under the VWAP. If the SPY does this, where it's crossing over the VWAP, under the VWAP, over the VWAP, under the VWAP, then the SPY is choppy. And that typically means the volume's a little bit lower. Not always, but it just means if the stock can't pick a trend, you know, if it's not staying above or below the VWAP in a consistent manner, then it's just a little choppy, and you got to be a little bit more careful in those situations. All right, I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to go bring my son out. I'll be right back. Hey, appreciate the sub, Stefan. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. All right, guys. What do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer the charts up here so you can kind of see the big movers, or would you just like to look at the scanners until before the bell? Let me know what you guys would prefer. I'm going to look up news in a minute, and so I could even put a chart down here so you guys could see it, or however you guys would prefer. But yeah, let's look up some news. First one I'm looking at is ARCI. I know this one isn't tradable for us, or for me at least. But I'm still going to look at it and watch this one for sure. So let's see. Right, like this. So you guys like it like this better? That way I can have the gap scanner and kind of look at some other ones. That's the way I like it the most as well. But it's all preference. Alright guys, so right now looking at appliance recycling subsidiary GeoTrack announced class of mobile IoT modules. Yeah, so basically they GeoTrack announced GeoTrack announced. Okay, so yeah, so a subsidiary of ARCI, which is GeoTrack, it's a subsidiary of ARCI, announced the transition from GSM to LTE connectivity, creating a new class of mobile IoT modules. So a subsidiary created a new class, which is good news for ARCI. We'll see where this one heads. Next one I'm looking at is NBEV, like I said. Cannabis stock, something I'm super familiar with. I definitely trade the cannabis stocks a decent amount. And so let's look at NBEV here to see what happens with it. All right, so New Age Beverages, which is NBEV, it is a cannabis infused drink company, if I remember correctly. So NBEV earlier issued a press release highlighting the launch of CBD globally. Is all I'm seeing here. NBEV also extended its license agreement with Bob Marley's family through 2030. They also posted first quarter results yesterday, I guess. And so a lot of good news for NBEV. I was kind of short biased on it. We'll see, though. I mean, these are pretty good news releases. So we'll see what happens with NBEV today. Definitely one that I'm watching, though. It has a lot of volume, and so I'll keep an eye on it for sure. We can also look at RWLK here. RWLK gapping up some from 330s to 390s here on RWLK. So RWLK, which is Rewalk, they announced a regional Blue Cross Blue Shield plan beneficiaries are winning requests to walk again. All right, so they basically issued a press release highlighting independent reviewer who deemed their personal 6.0 exoskeleton medically necessary for a paralyzed woman in Mississippi. I think this is just a recycled press release. I think I remember hearing this one already, but regardless of any of that, RWLK is up some. I think it's a good company what they're doing, so, it's up some. AMD moving up some. Typical volatility for AMD, though. Snap, like I said, I think wasn't it earnings that came out a few days ago for Snap? What was it, yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday. First quarter earnings. Let me know if you know what happened with Snap. It's basically break even with earnings and stuff. We also have SQ here, Roku, ABBV. We got Facebook here. I'm guessing Facebook is up on earnings, right? It's just a guess here. We can look at it as well. All right, so yeah, better than expected first quarter for Facebook. Better than expected first quarter. So we'll see what happens with positive earnings for Facebook. Microsoft as well. Good earnings. GNC is up. GNC from 204 to 217. We'll also look at ABBV. And yeah, VKTX here. VKTX was gapping up. It basically filled the entire gap already. It's sitting at 850. We'll see if it has any type of catalyst here for VKTX. But like I said, we'll see what happens with it. I'm not super confident in this one. There's not a ton of volume with it. And they just put out a release that said they're going to report first quarter results May 2nd, so in about a week. GGB, a lot of people talking about GGB this morning. I mean, it looks like a big float, small range stock. I mean, it's just not really my style. Big float, small range. Yesterday it moved a total of 10 cents, 11 cents, 10 cents. And so, I mean, I just don't know if I can do much with that. It's just not moving much. Like I said, it moved 10 cents yesterday. But if they have expected earnings, that one's interesting. I can look up that as well. I can look up GGB. We'll see what we find for GGB here. But looks like an OTC stock, but it's not. Anything else you guys want to look at? Let's see. Like I said, GGB doesn't look terrible. Here, let me bring the mic a little bit closer, like you guys said. Here, actually, let me know how this sounds. I'm going to put the mic at a different location. Let me know how that sounds. I fixed the mic a little bit, so it should be a little bit clearer now. All right, but yeah, watching Facebook, NBEV, ARCE. There we go. Bank of America, right? Oh, no, Boeing is BA. We can look at Boeing. So apparently they had a probe with Boeing that was cleared The active defense chief was cleared of favoring former employee Boeing while at the Pentagon. All right, so basically, evidence does not prove that that employee, which his name is Pat Shanahan, evidence does not prove that he sought preferential treatment, officials say. Interesting enough. We'll see what happens with Boeing here as well. But yeah, my main watch today, honestly, is NBEV, cannabis infused drink company. It's currently working with Bob Marley's family for licensing, I think, and I know they have a partnership with Walmart, and so we'll see what happens with NBEV. That's what I'm kind of looking at today. So interesting enough, I shaved my beard about a week ago. A week ago, I shaved my beard, and I find it funny to say that trading has kind of made me a little superstitious, and so I'm wondering if I shouldn't have shaved my beard because my trading took a dive once I shaved my beard. I'm actually not serious, so don't think I'm serious, but you do question it as a trader, I think. Right, man. Hey, I'm not serious, but you do question it, man. You do question it. It's like you get maybe my OCD comes out a little bit from trading. Honestly, I'm getting one. Mitch and I talked about it, so I am gonna be getting a face cam, so you guys can see my beautiful mug here. You know, I will be getting a face cam. I don't know, probably in the next month. Probably in the next month I'll get one. I gotta get one and set it up whenever I have the time to and stuff. But I don't really want to, but I'll do so just because I think it'll help the channel. I don't necessarily want to. The main reason is I don't really want to get up and have to like get myself around in the morning. And so even though I will be having a face cam, I'll probably be wearing a hat a lot of the time just to make it easier. And if not, I'm just not going to care how I look. And so I might be looking a little rough in the morning once I do get my camera, but people will live. They'll be all right. Yeah, man. I mean, that's what I think most people like. Honestly, the reason I haven't done one since now is because it's going to block part of the screen. And I think people would rather see scanners and stuff, you know? It's going to block part of the screen. Like, I can make it small, you know? Like, say I can make it, like, 2 by 2 square on, like, the right corner. The left corner is probably what I'll end up doing. I'll probably end up doing it down here, but we'll see. All right, guys. So, yeah, let me know if you want me to look at anything else. Like I said yesterday, I did create a public Discord channel. And so if you want to join our public Discord channel, I'm trying to create a free day trading chat. Like, really, that's my goal here, is to create a free day trading chat for traders to take advantage of. Public Discord's completely free. If you want to check that out, and, you know, we already have over 200 people there in the public Discord. And so if you want to be a part of the public Discord, I'll post the link here, and you can join us and help build this free day trading chat. Just trying to give traders a free resource instead of having to pay for a chat room. Just trying to give traders a free one here. And so if you want to check it out, here's the link. But yeah, watching NBEV. I'm also gotta send Mitch his invite. Let me text him. I don't think Mitch trades on Thursdays. I think Mitch is I don't think Mitch trades on Thursdays. Let me see. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think Mitch is trading today, but yeah, he probably is, man. He probably is, honestly. Honestly, y'all don't want me to start ranting about cannabis today. Y'all don't want me to go on my daily cannabis rant. I'm in Texas. I have 2 kids. I would love to be able to, but I just can't. The risk reward's not good enough. And so y'all don't want to hear me rant about it. We'll see how the trading day goes. CLF. Yeah, I see CLF on my scanners here. Oh, CLF doesn't actually look that bad. CLF doesn't actually look that bad. We can look up CLF. Isn't CLF an OTC, or not an OTC, an ETF? All right, so they posted a quarter 1 EPS of 8 cents per share. It beats the 11-cent estimate. Sales of 157 million beat the 133.85 million estimate. So, good results for CLF. We'll see what happens with that one. I'll keep an eye on it for sure. I'm I'm pro cannabis. Um, I think it should be legalized. I don't even smoke. I don't even smoke. Like I said, I'm in Texas. I have 2 kids, but I think the argument that people use now, you see, y'all are gonna get me started ranting about cannabis again. I think the argument people use nowadays, like it's a gateway drug, or why should we legalize another drug into the streets? That's mostly argued by law enforcement because they're going to lose most of their funding if cannabis becomes legal. And politicians that are getting a lot of PAC money and lobbying from pharmaceutical companies and the prison industry. And so it's not about legalizing another drug. It's about having an even standard. If alcohol, an objectively more harmful drug, is legal, then cannabis should be too. And at this point, they're just locking people up so law enforcement can make more money, and so the prison industry can make more money, and so the pharmaceutical industry can make more money. And so it's a ridiculous hypocrisy. And at a certain point, people just need to be honest about the fact that it has roughly the same toxicity level that caffeine does, and that we're just locking people up nowadays because law enforcement needs to make a certain, quota, and they need to make more money, and that's ultimately why you see them lobbying against it so much. So it's just kind of a ridiculous hypocrisy in our government right now. It's inevitable that it's going to be legal eventually, but here in Texas, there's no ballot initiatives here in Texas, and I don't know. It might be a few years. No, there's no ballot initiatives here in Texas. And like I said, I don't even smoke. I don't even smoke. I would if I could, if I'm honest. Because, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's an objectively less harmful drug than alcohol is. And it's something that people are just lying to themselves. I just think it's stupid. Like, the arguments like against it, the arguments against cannabis are just the dumbest arguments you've ever heard. Like, oh, I don't want to legalize another drug into the streets. It's like sugar's a drug, alcohol is a drug, tobacco is a drug, caffeine is a drug, chocolate is essentially a drug because it has caffeine in it. And so the whole I don't want to legalize another drug is just propaganda, nonsense. All right, so we'll see what happens with the NBEV. Right, if there was such a thing as gateway drugs, you know why cannabis is a gateway drug? I'll tell you why cannabis is a gateway drug. It's because to buy it, you have to go to a drug dealer. who's also selling other illegal drugs. If it was actually legal, you wouldn't have to buy it from a drug dealer who's going to eventually offer you other stuff. And so if it was legal, it wouldn't be a gateway drug at all. And saying it's a gateway drug is like saying, eventually I started out with caffeine and then I moved on to meth or something like that. It's just a dumb argument. And so when people argue against legalization, they're basically arguing for it being a gateway drug, because that's what keeping it illegal does. And it's honestly self-evident at this point. It's obvious, and so people are, like I said, people are just kind of walking around pretending here. They're walking around pretending, that they're doing it that they're trying to keep it illegal for any other reason aside from making money, because that's all they're doing. All right, Shreep, I got you. XOM, I got you, bro. I'll stop my rant here, and I told y'all don't want to get me ranting about it. XOM, ExxonMobil, it's down, big red day yesterday. Let me look at the news. We'll see what we can find here. Trying to look up what's going on with Exxon. They acquired more exploration acreage off of the offshore of Namibia. Mixed earnings, falling energy shares. So earnings is why it's down. We'll see where it goes today. I think it all depends on what the overall sector of oil does, but we'll see. I'm not super in the loop with what the oil and gas stocks are necessarily doing right now. How long do you have to hold a share to get dividends? I'm not sure, man. That's more fundamental investing for sure. I think it's different for each one. Can I talk about MBRX? Yeah, this is kind of what you see a lot. I don't know if this one got pumped up or what really happened for it. I know it started off at like $1.90 and went up to 210, came back down to 150. It's probably just a typical pump. It's either that or it might just be getting hyped up on news here. So MBRX, they just found out that an investor held a large stake in the company, that a big investor held a large stake in the company for MBRX. And that news pushed it up originally, and then it's just kind of been up on the hype and kind of falling back down for MBRX. We'll see what happens with it. It's still pretty volatile penny stock, and so, who knows what that one's going to do. Facebook has been dropping some in the last few minutes, down from about $1.99, so it dropped about $2 in the last 10 minutes or so. We'll see where that one goes. But like I said, main watch today going to be NBEV. The benefits of cannabis outweigh the bad. Yeah, for sure. And smoking anything is bad for you. Don't get it twisted. Like, smoking anything is bad for you. But if you vape it or if you have edibles, then it's fine. It's actually probably good for you. But yeah, we'll watch Snap as well here. We'll see what happens with Snap. We got an opponent here of cannabis. I disagree with you about cannabis. It has many harmful ingredients, including mercury, lead, many cancers causing. Okay. Okay, I understand that argument, but alcohol is legal. Alcohol is way worse for you health-wise, and it's way worse for your impairment. It's way worse for you, makes you much more impaired. So tobacco, way worse for you, makes you much more impaired. And so it's not about legalizing another drug. It's about having an even standard. It's about having an even standard here. Like, that's all it's about. It's about the government not being a hypocrite and allowing an objectively more harmful drug and then trying to restrict another one. You know, because like I said, the pros outweigh the bads. The pros outweigh the negative aspects of it. And to pretend that they don't, or pretend like, you know, or to pretend that, you know, that it's some demonized drug is ridiculous. You know, I'm not going to argue about it. This channel's about stocks. I didn't want to rant about it anyway. But like I said, it's not about legalizing another drug. It's about having an even standard and not the government not being hypocritical here. Like, that's all it's about. If tobacco is going to be legal, if alcohol is going to be legal, if caffeine is going to be legal, then they should legalize cannabis, and they should let the person decide what they're going to put into their own body. You know, I think there should be laws against driving on it, you know, obviously. But I think there should also be an even standard with regard to what's legal in this country. And I think when there's not, it just kind of shows that there's a lot of corruption. Yeah. But yeah, here, let's talk about stocks. I'm not trying to rant about it. But yeah, definitely not talking about religion or politics. My view on politics is I hate all politicians. Um, yeah, so we'll see what happens with Snap and ARCI. Gonna keep those on my list. Let's get ready for the open. I'm not trying to talk about these stressful topics. I don't believe so, Jorge. I don't believe so. But it's best to reach out to them and ask them. We have somebody in our chat that's from TradeNet, so it's probably best to reach out to them and ask them. ARCI, yeah, one of their subsidiaries had some type of good news for ARCI. That's why it's pushing up like it is. Uh-oh, we've got some we've got a hot topic today in our chat here, apparently. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But with that said, I'm watching NBEV. NBRX, I think the last thing that came out was with NBRX, I think the last thing that came out was that release that showed that relatively well-known investor had a large stake in NBRX. I think it was like an 8% stake in NBRX, and since then it's been pretty volatile lately. But CNSL gapping down some. We'll see if it bounces today. But no, I mean, disagreement and debate is fine, you know, so don't think I'm like hating on anybody. You know, we can disagree, and that's totally fine. We'll see what Facebook does here. ABVV is up. We'll see what happens with that one as well. But yeah, like I said, main watches. Oh wait, let me get everything ready for trading here. All right, so like I said, my main stock today is NBEV because it's tradable. It's the most volatile stock that's actually tradable right now at TEFs. What's everybody else looking at? Like I said, yesterday I broke the red streak yesterday, guys. I broke the red streak. I actually ended the day up $3. balling yesterday, up $3, killing it, man, killing it. So yeah, end of the day up $3. We'll see what happens today. Like I said, not the best week for me, but the 3 weeks prior to this week were all green, and so losing weeks are going to happen occasionally, and this may just be one of them. So we'll see what we get here. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think? If I actually do get a camera, it's probably going to be like on the bottom left here. It's probably going to be on the bottom left, like right here where this top 20 list is. Maybe like a little square right here where you can see my beautiful face right here. UGAZ and DGAZ, I like trading inverse ETFs. Yeah, my favorite inverse ETFs, TVIX and UVXY. I don't know if they're inverse ETF. I know they're volatility ETFs. Or they're volatility inverse ETFs, I actually think. But yeah, I like UVXY and TVIX. They're kind of my favorite ones. Yeah, we'll see what we get here. We got 2 minutes, guys. IP long. Like I said, if it's your first time here, join our public Discord. My goal is to create a free day trading chat room. And so check out our public Discord here. Like I said, we already have like 230 people here already. And so if you want to join our public Discord, check it out. Here's the link. And like I said, goal is to create a free day trading chat room. So help us build this here. Give traders a cheaper option instead of having to pay for a chat room. Let's see what NBEV gives us here. I'm also going to keep an eye on the related stocks like CRON, CRON, CGC, Snap, AMD, ARCI, Facebook. So we got a few options here. Let's see what else we get. All right, guys, we got 1 minute. 1 minute. All right, guys. Marcus opening up. Hey, appreciate the sub. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks for the sub, Big Fridge. Welcome in. Appreciate it. All right, guys. We got about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let's do it. ZM. Zoom? What's Zoom doing? All right, guys. We got 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Let's do this. Here we go. Look at ARCI spiking up here at the open. ARCI spiking up here. Big at the open. There's the bell. All right, so NBEV, big drop at the open. This is when I will look for a short. I'm ultimately waiting to see how much NBEV is going to drop, and if the VWAP ultimately drops along with it is what I'm kind of waiting for NBEV. We'll see what we get here, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. Now, we also have Roku with the big drop, ROKU, and I will watch that one as well, see if we can get a nice, a nice fade play here on Roku. We'll see what happens here. All right, Roku rebounded all the way back up here. The overall SPY is dropping, though. And so this is really the best time for fades if we can find some that are following the overall market. So the SPY is actually dropping some. Just being patient. A lot of stuff's moving up right now, honestly. And the SPY's dropping some, so it's actually interesting here because some of the stuff, a lot of the stuff is actually moving against the overall market. What about SQ here? Yeah, Zoom just isn't moving that much. It's just not super volatile. I'll keep an eye on it, but not a ton of volume, guys, so just be careful right now in this market. Snap is one I am watching. I am looking at Snap. If Snap can get up to 1108, I'll probably trade this one. I like the fact that it has that big solid resistance level above it. And I could probably set myself a risk of like 12 cents or 4 cents here for Snap. Almost caught it. Almost caught it. There it goes. Just dropped a little bit too quick. Now I can use that. I can still have about a 4 or 5 cent risk, though. I like that area. But that would have been a beautiful one for Snap. Just missed it. Didn't work well. Yeah, they still have the restriction on shorting AMD on Thinkorswim, unfortunately. Alright, I like Snap because I can give myself a 5 cent risk and a 10 cent reward. So I can use it from 5 down to 95 and then from 5 to 11.10 as my risk. I like that area for Snap. We'll see if Snap can get up there. I like the risk. Good 2-to-1 risk to reward for Snap at that point. NIO, I haven't actually been watching NIO lately. What's been going on with NIO? I also may look at some VWAP projections. I think VWAP projections have ultimately been working a little bit better lately. NIO spiking up big here. I'm also looking at AMD. It's starting to set up. And the SPY, the big thing you have to watch with overall right now is that the SPY could pull a red to green move. And the SPY is dropping right now, but it could reverse quickly. But while the SPY is dropping, I'll start to look for some fades. AMD is one I'm looking at. I could use a 79.80 cent as my risk, and my risk would be about 14 cents, and then use 40 as my reward target. And so maybe 35, 40, and so that gives me a decent risk reward. But at this point, I'm looking at Snap. Oh. I didn't know you were here, brother. I got you, Mitch. Hold on, man. Let me get you set up, dude. Mitch, which one do you want me to send it on, bro? You want me to send it on Skype or Zoom? Alright, I'm looking at AMD. Looking at Cron as well. Sorry, let me get this out the way. Yeah, I'm going to send it on Zoom. Here, I'll send it on both. I'm just trying to catch this. Alright, there goes Skype. There you go. Alright, SPY continues to drop. And so it doesn't look like I'm going to actually get that entry. I mean, I still don't like it. I still don't hate it. If I can get in at like 1102, set that 1110 risk for 8 cents, and then from 1102 down to 82. I'll definitely take that. That's 2-to-1 if we can get up to the VWAP here for Snap. So if we can get up to the VWAP on Snap, I like it, but it's got to bounce. Also looking at Cron, C-R-O-N. If Cron can get up to 60 or 56 or so, I like the risk of 65. And so 9 cents. Facebook dropping, so a lot of redness in the market right now, and a lot of redness. The SPY's dropping down to 291.90. I was looking at Snap, it just didn't actually get down there. What's up, Mitch? What's up, brother? All right, we got Mitch here. Yeah, I'm looking at AMD too. What's up, bro? You in SGMO? All right, I don't hate Kron with a 1660 risk, 1630 reward target, 2-1. Maybe 12-cent risk on Snap. What's the stock? What's the symbol? V. Yeah, VKTX filled the gap, but not too much volume. Yeah, I'm looking at Kron. That's the main one I'm watching. I like the 1660 risk. It's also the previous day's close. And so I really like that one. NBEV is what I look for as well. The only problem is that like the SPY has been heading down, which is usually great for shorts. I just didn't catch any fades already this morning. But depending on when the SPY starts to push up, it could affect Kron. But I'm looking at it. Kron looks like it's setting up pretty well with it. Let's see. 47. I just need a little bit higher here. 45. I like the risk reward. It's just got to get up there. I don't mind taking 150 now and then adding 150 later if it gets up there, but it's got to get up there. Doesn't look like it's going to fade before then, unfortunately. SPY's starting to bounce up a little bit. All right, there's 47s here for Kron. All right, well, I added to it. I just got in a little bit late. I'm going to add another 150 if it can get up to 1650 here. It's got to get up to 1650. I like the 1660 risk. Like I said, it's the previous day's close. Don't know if it's actually going to give it to me or not. Yeah, I mean, I got 150 shares in a bad fill, though. Entry's 42. It just filled me at a terrible spot. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great. Yeah. Honestly, I just didn't get filled at the right spot. Like, I'm up, but barely right now. Small sizing, too. AMD might be good, too. NBEV faded like I thought it might. There's a drop back on Kron. Just half size here. I mean, I'm not super upset with small size. I think with the way I've been doing in the market, it's not terrible to take small size. I'm just going to let this one work, though. If it stops me out, it stops me out. Hopefully it ends up coming back down, hitting these lows. I'm just going to let this 150 shares work as long as I can, and if I get stopped out, that's fine, too. Still pretty early in the market day. VZ's actually back up to the view up. Doesn't look bad at all. No. It was alright. Man, I'm just disappointed. I mean, I'm in it, but I'm 150 shares at a terrible entry. You know, I'm up $12 right now. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it might work out. Maybe I'll get a break here. If it breaks here, it's still pretty. It'll still be pretty good. But little baby trade. At the very least, it should give me some room to take another trade. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take my half off here. Oh, didn't even get a chance to take my half off there. NBEV's bouncing back. It doesn't look terrible there. Hey, what's up, Green Scene? Long time no see, brother. Hey, welcome, man. Hey, y'all, go check out the Green Scenes channel. Really cool channel. He does reaction videos. Go check him out. Appreciate the $5 dono, brother. Long time no see, man. It's good to see you, bro. Yeah, but y'all go check out my man, the Green Scenes channel. I mean, I might get my ad back here for Kron. But yeah, he's got a really cool channel. Y'all go check it out. It honestly is a really cool channel. Go check it out. I'll watch some of his videos. And just a cool channel. So y'all go hit it. Spy dropping here. Spy dropping, breaking lows. Spy dropping. Should be good for Kron here. I'm thinking about adding some, even if it's not the best entry here. Just maybe adding 100 to this. I mean, VZ didn't look terrible there. I'm holding this one. I'm seeing if it's gonna seeing if this one's gonna spike up enough for me to get an ad in. Yeah, man. On SQ. I mean, the market's weak. The market's pretty weak. You're not at the coffee shop today, huh? Yeah, man. I hear your dog back there chewing on a dog toy. That's why. Hey, look at Zoom. Look at Zoom. Zoom's right up there to the VWAP. Yeah. But look at Zoom, man. Zoom doesn't look bad there. Alright, there's a little bit of a washout. We'll see if it can actually fall here. It's not following the SPY super closely at this point, but... Yeah, man. Good to see you, Ant. I may be able to get my ad in, though. Depending on how far it jumps. There's 44s. SPY bouncing a little bit here. I wish I would have just gotten my full entry here. If I would have had my full entry, I would have taken half off already. And so that's the only thing that kind of makes me a little nervous. I could still follow the pretty tight risk reward at 58 or so. Or no, at 60. Alright, I can add my 150 back here. Yeah, it's just the market squeezing up some here. NBEV's right at the VWAP too. Well, I got to add to it, but it's squeezing up. Like I said, I'm just gonna stick to my my 60 risk level. Squeezing up quick though. I just wish we got more fades when the market was actually washing out. I feel like fades take a while to present themselves, and by the time they do, the market's kind of running up some. And so we get kind of caught in this kind of area where we could get stopped out a little bit easier because the market's squeezing up a little bit faster. Hopefully we get some confirmation in my risk level here, and hopefully the SPY starts to turn back around, but I just gotta stick to my risk level. Man, yeah, fades just haven't been working as well this week, brother. Market mostly has to do with the market, I think, overall. Zoom actually faded really nicely. Kind of bummed I didn't see that one. Yeah, there's 60. I gotta be pretty tight with it here. I'll let it test. It's that previous resistance right here. And so I can let it test safely. But, gotta stick to it. Don't want to get caught in a red to green move. There's 59s again. Let it test. See if this area holds. It looked like NBEV had a good fade. I'm seeing some fades. I think I'm just picking the wrong ones lately. SPY dropping. I'm trying to let it work with the SPY here. I've been getting faked out there every day, so I'll let that one go a little bit extra, but maybe holding mine a little bit too long now. I'll give it the time, but it's getting a little too close for comfort here. Just don't want to get stubborn and hold it too long and not accept the loss when it happens. So it's at 59 now. I just got to let it work. Hopefully we get a drop, but it's kind of the big line in the sand here that we got to let it work. I'll let it test this previous high, and then if it breaks that, I'll get out. But like I said, I can kind of recognize like maybe I'm holding it too long. My original risk was 60, and that's like right around the previous day's close. And so I might just be getting stubborn with it. I probably should have taken profits when I could have, but yeah. 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 Alright, I'm out. It got up to 65, I'm out. So $60 loss. Not a great week. Like I said, you know, you go on these green streaks. Like I went on this green streak with like 12 days, and then it's like ever since then it's just been terrible trading for me. And so I think it's just, I think with the VWAP fade specifically, we have to understand that these type of moves are gonna happen, and we gotta scale back a little bit. Part of the problem though, like one thing I'm noticing with these here, let me get this ready. One thing I'm noticing with these is that if I get into if for instance, look, when I need to attack the fade, like if you look at the SPY here, this is when I need to attack the fade the most, because this is when it's ultimately going to work the best right here. So you guys can see. Let me move this back. This is when I need to attack the fade the most. Whenever the SPY bounces back and I try to get into it right here, it just makes it so that the fade's not going to be as accurate. Yeah, man. I think I shaved and messed it up. Right, Bill? But no, this is like, if you guys can see here, this is when I need to attack the fade. The problem I've been getting into is that I'm getting into the fade when the SPY does this. And that's causing a lot of these stocks to squeeze up. But yeah, my loss today is $63. I'm probably not going to trade again today. ARCI still going crazy. No. Oh, it's a circuit breaker halt on the way down. Be careful, guys. That could be super risky, so just be careful. And now look at Kron. See, that's been happening constantly. That's one of the reasons I held it a little bit longer. I saw 65 flash on the ask, and so that's why I got out, but, man, look at that. VZ's actually been fading pretty nicely, though, today, VZ. Yeah, man, I see ARCI. That one's just crashing back down, man. While we're here, though, if anybody's interested in using the same broker that Mitch and I use, you can go check out TradeNet. I'll post this link here. Let me see. Don't stress, man. You know, like, listen, I've gotten to the point where I'm actually pretty comfortable if I have like a tough week, because most of the time what I've noticed is that, like, I have much more green weeks than red, like much more green weeks than red. And when I have a red week, it's usually the market's just not favoring VWAP fades as much, and so I just, you know, I just gotta accept red weeks when they happen. That's something I'm trying to do. You know, red weeks are gonna happen. I can't fight it, or I just make the losses bigger and bigger. Honestly, I'm frustrated with Kron. Look at Kron, man. You guys want to know where I got out of Kron? I got out at 64. I literally got out of Kron on a short position. Right here. I can only laugh about it at this point, but look at that. This is where I got out, guys. Let me draw this, just so you guys can see the gravity of this. This is where I got out of my short position. Ugh. Hilarious. But no, if anybody's interested in using the same broker that Mitch and I use, one of the ways I can use the small sizing and still not eat up my account with commissions is because commissions on TradeNet and TEFs, their funded account program, is 0.006 cents per share. Okay, and there's a 150 per trade minimum. So basically, if I use less than 300 shares, my commissions are like $3 or $4 total for a complete round trip. And so I could literally buy 100 or 200 shares and not kind of eat my account alive with TradeNet and TEFs. Yeah, brother, it happens, man. But no, so if you're interested in using the same broker that Mitch and I use, go check out TradeNet. They have a sale right now for their intro package, and so their intro package right now is on sale for $3.99. And with that $3.99, you get $14,000 in buying power to trade with. So you get to trade with $14K in buying power. There is a $700 max loss, but like I said, commissions are pretty cheap, and the cool thing is that there's no PDT rule, and so you can day trade as much as you want on there. And like I said, I think most new traders end up losing their first account. And so I think this kind of eliminates some of that risk. Instead of depositing thousands into a regular broker just so you can trade without PDT, you can buy a TradeNet package and use their funded account program to really take the time with small sizing and learn how to trade the market profitably. I think it makes perfect sense if you think about it, and really it'll eliminate some of that risk that new traders face when most new traders lose their first account anyway. And so if you're interested in checking that out, I'll post this link here. There's the link. Just posted it in the chat. And you also, with TradeNet's trading package, you also get a free month of our classes, and you also get TradeNet's trading course and TradeNet's a month of their chat room as well. So it comes with a lot of cool stuff. It's a pretty good value for $3.99. So go check that out, and there's the link. But yeah, man, maybe it was the beard, bro. Maybe it was the beard. Honestly, what all it is, though, really what we're seeing here, like, this is, I can show you guys. So, like, if you look at the SPY, this is what we saw. So I went on that 13-day green streak, right? And one of the ways I went on that green streak is because up until last week, or up until this week, the market had been gapping up every day and then crashing at the open. Gapping up every day and then crashing at the open. Gapping up every day and then crashing at the open. And so that was really a good environment for shorts. You know, the environment was super good for shorts. And now the market has been falling some at the open and then spiking up pretty big. And so the same thing happened yesterday. It'll kind of drop. Maybe it'll drop a little bit at the open, and then it'll kind of spike up. And so that's kind of been happening over and over and over again. And it's just not as good of an environment for shorts as it was previously. And that's all it is. And so it's just kind of one of those times I got to scale down, not rush things, not force things. And probably just, there's Cron squeezing up, so maybe it was the right exit. But just not force stuff, because the market's been choppy, and I can't really force things when the market's like that. Most stocks follow the overall market. So like for instance, if you look at Cron here and you look at the SPY, these look very, very similar. And so, for instance, you could look at the SPY and see the overall market dropped some at the open. I can draw this here if you want me to. Drop at the open. What do we get for Cron? We get a drop at the open. And then when the SPY breaks over the VWAP, the market breaks over the VWAP. And so even if people don't find a correlation between these two, most of the time, most stocks follow the market. Most stocks follow the overall market, even if it's just a little bit. And so I use the SPY to analyze most of these stocks. If it's just like a penny stock, though, like for instance, if it's like ARCI or just like a low float penny stock, obviously the SPY is not going to really have much weight over that. But if it's like if it's not like a tiny penny stock, then most of the time the market has some type of sway over it. But yeah, I mean, you can just look at these two and see they're very similar. At least the cannabis stocks is what I've noticed that from. What cargo? Oh no, it's okay, Tony. Like I said, losing weeks are gonna happen. I've gotten to the point where I've gotten a little bit better at accepting losing weeks. And it's not one of those things like you're never always gonna have green weeks. Like I went on a pretty good green streak up until this point. Like out of the last 9 weeks, I've only had 3 losing weeks. So 3 out of 9. I've had 6 green weeks and 3 losing weeks out of 9. And so I've been doing pretty well. Losing weeks are going to happen. Losing trades are going to happen. And I can't really beat myself up too much over it. Of course, I would always like to have constant green days and constant green weeks. But if you're not faking it and if you're being honest with people, losing days and losing weeks are they're inevitable. They're going to happen. No, I don't want to take anybody's money. Cargo. I definitely don't want to trade with anybody else's money. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Cron was a bad trade. I think the biggest mistake I made with it is bad fill, and I didn't take profits when it got around the lows. One of the reasons with VWAP fades, one of the reasons I always take profits around the lows is because this happens. You see bounces like this. I should have taken profits right there, right around there. That would have been a little bit more risk-free of a trade. Yeah, I mean, I don't see too much. Like maybe VZ doesn't look terrible. Verizon. But aside from that, I mean, Kron faked me out with the VWAP fade. The SPY is overall pushing up some, and so just a little bit choppy today. eBay. And I mean, like I said, guys, I'm probably not going to trade again today. I do pretty well. Like, I'm trying to keep my losses consistent, you know, and I'm trying. That probably sounded wrong, but I'm trying to keep my wins and losses consistent. And so if I trade too much today, it's just going to make a big drawdown in my account that I don't want if I do lose again. Yeah, for sure. I could kind of see that. Later, brother. Zoom's also right up there. But like I said, I'm probably not going to trade anymore today. I'll probably just hang out. One thing I think I do fairly well is I'm usually pretty disciplined with how much I trade. I've learned the kind of rookie mistake of not forcing trades when you're down. And so today doesn't seem like a great day. SPY is kind of choppy right now, pushing over and under the VWAP. And so gotta just kind of take it slow here. Yeah, Roku breaking underneath the VWAP. What's up, Tony? Can y'all hear me? Yeah, y'all should be able to hear me, right? Test, test. Yeah, y'all should be able to. All right, good. Yeah, guys, like I said, I think it's a good lesson for traders to understand, right? So if you look at the past, really since the end of February, if you look at March all the way until now, which is almost 2 months, um, I've had two losing days in those 2 months, and I've had two losing days, or two losing weeks, I'm sorry. I've had two losing weeks out of 8 or 7. And so, losing weeks are going to happen. I know a lot of people probably watch and they say, well, he's losing. He lost yesterday too, But the problem, like I said before, the problem is that when people advertise with trading, right, they don't actually tell people that losing weeks are going to happen. They make it seem like you're just going to take you're going to take $1,000 and just have constant green days and, never lose. And so when traders that aren't really aware of what it's really like, start to lose, they really beat themselves up over it. And the problem with that is that losses are inevitable. Losing days and weeks are going to happen. If you've been following along with the stream the last month or so, like I had like a 12-day green streak. I had 3 weeks, nothing but profitable weeks, right? And this is the first red week I've had since then. And so it's like a pullback in like a stock. It's just like a pullback. Sometimes, you're going to have to hit the brakes a little bit and take it a little bit slower. And that's completely fine. We actually did a class on on not losing your account and how to protect your account in trading. And one of the things we talked about is that being able to accept losing days is critical. Is crucial. You have to be able to accept losing days. One thing that I do when I have a losing day is I just try to go do something I enjoy. I try to take a step away from the computer and I try to do something I enjoy. That'll get my mind off of it. And you guys know, if you're a trader, you probably know the feeling of you have a losing day, but you don't want to stop looking at charts. You want to keep looking at charts, and eventually you get the itch to jump into another trade, and then that trade turns into a loser as well. And then your mental game is gone, and you just force trades until you're taking huge losses. And that's how new traders end up losing their accounts. That's how new traders lose their accounts. That's how people lose their accounts. And so one of the best things you can do is just take a step away from everything and go do something you enjoy, whether that be exercising, playing a video game, watching your favorite movie, whatever you need to do to, kind of put yourself, like I described it the other day. If we have any Happy Gilmore fans, go to your happy place and then just take a step away from your computer, and you're not even going to be worried about that loss anymore. You're not even going to care about that loss anymore. And so, again, if people are asking, why do I think the SPY and these small cap stocks are correlated? This is why. SPY pulls drops. What happens to Cron? Cron drops. And so these are absolutely correlated with each other. They absolutely follow each other. Same thing with Roku. Let's look at Roku here as well. I know it's a larger cap stock, but Roku as well. AMAT. What was the other one? NBEV. SPY starts to drop, all of them start to drop. Even if it's just a little bit, even if they just follow each other a little bit. And so it's kind of what happens in this market. But yeah, I guess the point is that don't beat yourself up too much for losses. Your goal as a trader should be to keep everything as consistent as possible. Everything should stay as consistent as possible. Whenever you go on green streaks, and green streaks are great, but whenever you go on green streaks, you have to understand that the green streak might end. And when it does, that's okay. Because your goal isn't to go on 10-day green streaks. Your goal is to keep everything as consistent as possible. Look at the SPY wash out here, though. SPY dropping pretty big here. But yeah, that's probably it for the day, guys. I'm probably going to hang it up a little bit early. I'm going to go do something I enjoy. Like I said, get my mind off of it. It hasn't been a great week, but losing weeks are going to happen. If anybody wants to check out the same scanner that I'm using, check out Trade Ideas. Super cool company, really customizable, allows you to do a lot of different stuff. Super dynamic scanners. So go check out Trade Ideas. There's the link if you want to go check them out. Like I said, really customizable and versatile scanners that allow you to do a lot of different stuff. And so go check out Trade Ideas. Nice job, John. Congrats, brother. Nice work, man. Killing it lately, bro. Congrats, brother. Like I said, if you want to help support the channel and you're interested in using the same broker that Mitch and I use, like I said, if you want to see what TradeNet's base platform looks like, I typically use Thinkorswim, but this is the default platform on TradeNet. And so it's actually a pretty versatile platform. Allows you to do a lot of cool stuff. A lot of really good time and sales. Really decent charting, You can do a lot of different stuff, lots of different types of orders, lots of different indicators. And so, pretty cool platform itself, and pretty cheap, all things considered. Like I said, with the intro package, you get 14K in buying power to trade with. So you get to trade with 14,000. There's a $700 max loss, but there's no PDT rule, and so you can day trade as much as you want on TEFs and TradeNet. And so I always thought that was one of the best aspects of it. You can kind of eliminate some of the risk of depositing thousands into a regular broker. And so go check them out as well. And good luck for the rest of the day, guys. I'll see you all a little bit later. Good luck in the market, and have a good day.